Okay. We have a small class today. I think Sarah is gone to the temple and Madeline is in St. George. Who else is supposed to be here?
Jace.
Jace. Yeah, Jason.
Wasn't that student from BYUI coming?
Josh. Yeah. I thought he would be here too. So we are going to have a little bit of a casual morning because I have had kind of an emergency. I've been trying to get on my Google account all morning, and I just got a text from my brother. I've got an account under his account just so that I could have Tibbetts, my maiden name, at the end of my email. Anyway, he just said he set up a Google for work account so that he could get support, and the trial ended and the account was suspended. And so he had to downgrade the account, but I just barely got on a couple minutes ago. So this morning I was going to check on all your papers, all your research and everything. I didn't get any of that done.
It's okay because all my research that I've been working on, I have it put on.
Okay.
And it's also really hard because most of the research I've done, I've had to go through tons of opinions before, because the subject that I'm looking at, there's tons of opinion, more than there is scientific background.
That would be interesting to talk about. And in fact, I want to kind of go there a little bit today. I want to discuss some of the dilemmas that you came up with in your papers. Let's go. Okay. Oh, no problem. Was there a problem getting in, Brinley? There was. I had some major problems this morning too with my Google. And can I just tell you, I went to bed at midnight last night because it was our caucus last night. So it was our presidential caucus, and Ted Cruz won all the delegates for Utah. But it was really interesting because in the caucus meeting, we got to hear a lot about who people wanted to vote for. It was so much more fun than a primary. Do any of you, let's see, Idaho has had a caucus before. Actually 4 years ago, I remember I was in charge of the caucus event, but I don't know if Idaho's had a caucus this last week, or did you have a primary? Do you know?
They had a primary, right? Because Andrew voted through primary.
Through ballot.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, Tanner, do you have a caucus or a primary? You don't know? Okay. It'd be interesting to know, and it would be interesting to go even if you're not voting. But a caucus is so fun, but it took a long time last night. And then my husband and I stayed up a little later to see what the results were, but we finally went to bed, found out that the results came in at 3:00 in the morning, which is, I'm so glad I didn't stay up that late, but I'm a little bit suffering because I'm tired. But let's talk about the dilemmas in your research. Edie, let's go where you tell us kind of what you found, and
Okay, so
remind everybody what your subject is.
Okay, my subject is very weird, and
it's not weird.
Okay, anyways, my subject is about home birthing, if it's safe. And of course, you probably all know that with a subject like that, there's tons of opinion out there. I mean, you're gonna have it's way more, it's more about it's not more of the logical scientific backgrounds that I've been finding, though I have found some, and a little bit of that I knew from my sister Emily, who studied a lot about this, but I have to go to my thing. Do you want me to talk about the background that I... found, or just the dilemmas?
Tell us how your research went, some dilemmas that came up with, some of the good things you found.
I found some really neat stories, and
were they from reliable resources or sources, not resources?
Yeah, I didn't get them from like a private blog. I got them from, I don't know what they were called. I've got it on my bibliography, but let me see. I have to go there. There were, as I said, there were several dilemmas with how much, like, what was right. Lots of propaganda of like things that you can, like, why a home birth is right, and then they're trying to sell you supplies for stuff. And so
did you find a scientific journal?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
I learned about the effects of what it can do to the body when you're in the hospital, and what happens in the there's some chemical reactions with oxytocin, and do you want me to go into this?
No, I don't think we have a lot of time, but I wanted to see how your experience was finding, because you're going to have some time to be able to share your paper in other classes. But you did find some journals.
It was just hard because there was lots of going through the opinions to get to that.
Good. So you kind of now realize that there's a big process in researching true material or the truth.
Especially in a subject that's so diverse.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Jace, how did your research go with yours? And remind us about remind everybody about your subject that you're doing.
With my subject, there didn't seem to be much information on can it economically work. It was, most people were either saying it's like I didn't say that first. My subject was, is it possible to make communism work economically? Not like, is it moral or not? Which, like, I
like that subject.
I just wanted to look into this, and like, it seemed that most people were either saying that it had already economically worked, or were saying that it could never economically work, or that they were all like talking about a lot of different things when I would search related topics, but not very many of them
were viable.
Yeah, and not really many of them were talking about that specific subject. That, like, I couldn't really find very much. I'm sure that there is some out there, but I did find out a lot about past attempts at communism, but not a lot about the theoretics of making it work economically.
It's interesting in your paper, then, you would probably bring that up in the sense that, it has yet to be proven that it can work. You could bring that up.
You can't really prove it until you try every single possibility, which does not sound good with comedy.
Remember that this is an exploratory essay, so it's not like you're having to prove something.
Yeah.
So you can like experiment the both sides or something.
Good point. Good point, Edie. But it's important to bring up that you weren't able to find a lot out there, that there aren't experiences, that it's truly an experimental idea, a theory that has not yet been proven. It might be interesting to bring up why people would want to do it. What are the reasons? So this is my question to you to research. Why would people want to make communism work? What are the benefits of it? I mean, if you can't find a lot of proof out there or experiences, maybe ask the other
I guess you
questions.
can't really find the how, then find out the why, you mean?
Yeah. Why would it be? Why is it important? And just kind of explore. And so you could have
Like the why for them, like definitely, like even if I don't agree with that why, like why they believe that.
exactly. I think it's super important for that kind of information to get out there as you write this and explore it. It's important for other people to understand why is it that they won't even do that. So this is going to be a fun essay. I'm excited to read it. Let's go with Tanner, and then we'll go with Brinley.
Okay, so in my research, I was looking around, and my question or topic is, why is there so much profanity in like hip hop and rap music? And as I was searching around, there's not too many like research done about it. A lot of it is just personal opinion I've found on like forums and things of people saying why they think it is or isn't a bad thing. And a lot of people say it's just how they grew up. They were always listening to like cuss words and things, and so that's just how they talk. And some people say it's to add emphasis, and a lot of time people just end up defending cuss words in general rather than the music. So it was kind of seemed a little biased on some sides and kind of interesting, I guess you could say.
So do you see this kind of as somebody's expression of themselves then? Rap music is an expression of themselves, maybe?
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it looks like, you look at art and, we went through this whole change of art from this neoclassical that emanated, or excuse me, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of continued on this Greek Roman style in the 1700s. And then we moved to this Romantic period where people are starting to question God, question government, question a lot of things. And they move from people to landscapes because there's a lot of turmoil and problems with people. And so this Romantic period moved us toward more of the countrysides and landscapes and some people too. I'm not excluding that. But then we moved to this modern era where we've got the Guernica, which is these people that are chopped up into pieces and disjointed and really cut up. And also Salvador Dali, that's got these clocks that are melting in the desert. And you see this expression of life through people as they paint or express themselves through art. And music is an art. And I'm thinking that, well, as you were talking, I was thinking maybe it's because since music is an art, this is an expression of that person or our society. But it would be interesting to continue to ask that question. Is this an expression of society? Is this who society feels they are? Explore that just a little bit and see if you want to bring that into your essay. Of course, you probably can't find any scientific evidence of why. This is a human nature thing. Okay, good. Anything else you wanted to add to that? Okay. Brinley, let's go with some of the things that you remind us what you are studying and then what you found.
Is it good for young athletes to travel and practice sports extensively? So that was my question. And
You kind of explored two sides, didn't you, with that?
Yeah. Well, because I have this friend, her name is Brinley, and she wasn't in church. She's in her ward. She wasn't in church, and my mom ran to her dad and said, "Why wasn't Brinley in church?" And he said that they were in Spokane at a huge volleyball tournament, and she missed church because of that. And so I used that as an example, and I didn't do much research on it.
That's great though that you have right there local research right within your own community. Have you interviewed your mom? Because I know she had done stuff like that. Did you interview her? You've got some of that, and
She didn't do it when she was like in middle school. She did it when she was in high school and college more so.
oh, okay, so not as a young child. Okay,
Mhm.
not that you're a young child, but you're growing up. But you know what I meant.
Yeah.
It's before you drive. I feel like people are pretty young. Once you drive, you pretty much have more autonomy and can get out. Okay, so is there any time that you can get on a research online of the effects of playing local sports as opposed to always traveling?
I don't know that I would find anything, but
I think you might, because I think it's a controversial subject because some parents really feel that's what their children need. And some people feel like their children really need to stay home and be local. And I think you'd find something but you probably want to search with your mom and have her help you find some things. But it would be good to get some kind of documentation. Maybe there's books out there or articles. Will you do that? Will you search a little bit today? Okay,
yeah.
good. All right, so we've got everybody covered. Let's go to the book now. If you've got your books, open them up to page is this? Page 98, or you can look on here. So we spent Monday and Tuesday gathering information, right? Again, she says, don't make this a big deal. 1 or 2 examples per section. And remember the sections were your essay plan. Okay, I don't want to go back to that because it takes a while to scroll up and down. But 1 or 2 examples per section is what you need, and keep them short. She asks us to reread the samples at the end of this module. Do that on your free time. And then, no, don't do that in your free time. Do stuff that's really, really fun in your free time, but do this in your writing time. And she says your goal is to select 2 particulars, facts, data, experiences, or anecdotes per section that you will include in the draft. So if you're doing your question and your side 1 and your side 2, Brinley, what's the goal to get in your side 1? How many particular things do you need to include in side 1?
I don't know.
Okay, that's good. So right here, your goal is to select 2 particular things per section. So in side 1, you'd have two examples, or right here, facts, maybe 2 facts, maybe 2 pieces of data, maybe 2 experiences. For you, it'd be experiences, right? For you, Tanner, it may be an anecdote. Why did you get interested in this question that you have? I can kind of guess. You love poetry and you love beat. And if you're like me, when I turn my indicator on when I'm driving and I'm sitting there at the stoplight, and I hear this beat, 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 I immediately start to dance or to sing. It just comes. It just comes. And it would be interesting to put an anecdote in yours about why you got interested in this. I bet you have the same disease I do. Who knows? And I don't know if it's a disease, but I think my husband and children sometimes think it is. So 2 things per section for your draft, okay? Now, on Wednesday, which is today, you're going to write a draft. And let's read over this. Edie, would you read this section right here? Is this big enough for everybody? Whoa. There we go.
Okay. On Wednesday, write a draft. One of the ways that, wait, do you want me to read?
Just that whole paragraph.
One of the ways that I write my first draft is to simply start writing. I get out a clean sheet of paper and write everything I can about the topic that I just researched. Do not worry about getting your facts straight or including quotes. At this stage, your goal is to write a skeleton of the paper. You can hold the essay plan in front of you and simply work your way through it. Start at the top of the plan and start writing, working your way through the points. When you get stuck or finish an idea, skip 2 lines and do the next section. If the section appears skimpy, that's okay at this stage. But put down as much as you know. If you get a bit out of order, that's fine at this stage too.
Okay, so obviously it doesn't matter about perfection here. A rough draft is just letting the flow of ideas come out, I'm thinking of Tanner's subject, just letting the stuff come out, like a rap song. Just, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect, just get it out. Why do you think she says skip two lines if you get stuck? Did you see that? When you get stuck or finish an idea,
just keep writing.
It says skip 2 lines and do the next section. Why do you think she wants you to skip 2 lines? Edie? I bring this up because this is old-fashioned information here. This is before computers, when we had just notebooks and paper, we had to do this. But I'm looking at this thinking, gee, now that we write online, either in Evernote or Google Docs or whatever it is, you don't have to skip two lines anymore. But if you're writing in your notebook, you should, because then you can come back to it and add in where you got stuck. Okay? All right, Brynley, can you read? Actually, let's skip this part. She's saying, this is her ideas of, don't write on the back side of any page. Now, if you're going to write this electronically, this doesn't go with what you're doing. But she says she keeps the goals in mind. She keeps her essay plan in mind, and she just writes. And then we've talked about this last time. If you get stuck, just say, shoot, I'm stuck right now, and just keep writing. I forgot to say my prayers this morning, and I'm still hungry, and I wish I didn't have to do this, and whatever it is. And then as long as you keep your pencil moving, you may come up with something. You probably will come up with something. Take a short break and then come back, reread it. Don't make a big deal of it. Just keep writing. Okay, now let's see. Brynley, can I have you read this section?
Yes. In this stage, your goal will be to narrow and expand. Narrow the focus and then expand the writing. That means that as you read your writing, you will make some vague statements that need clarification or support. If you find that you've made a single statement, such as skateboarding is a public nuisance, and haven't offered any proof of evidence, this is the time to dig back through your books and articles to find that one quote that tells us how many kids are skateboarding and strip malls to the detriment of shoppers. add that quote or statistic now, then comment on the finding.
Let's stop right there for a minute. This is something that it's as we get more intelligent and more logical in our thinking, we turn away from making statements like this without proof. Okay, I could easily say that, oh, this presidential election is so dumb. But what am I really saying? I'm just showing emotion, aren't I? We talked about this last year, didn't we, when we were talking about Abraham Lincoln? We can have emotion as long as we have something to back it up. Why is it dumb? Why am I saying that? And if I can't figure out a reason why it's dumb, it's not worth saying. This could easily be very emotional here. Oh, skateboarding is a public nuisance. But if you don't have anything to say about it logically, you shouldn't say it. So you can go back to your articles and you can find an article probably that says, families go to the parks to swing and to spend some time, and this 3-year-old gets run over by a skateboarder and has to go to the hospital. And you can start finding out, what a nuisance it is for skateboarders to be on sidewalks when people are trying to walk down the sidewalks. And maybe it's not in our little small towns. I haven't seen that it is a problem here. But there may be articles about that. So what's important is you've got to prove why you're saying something. Okay, so everybody's moving a lot, so I'm boring you. And we are almost done. But I wanted to let you know that today is the day to get in, find 1 hour. Promise me you will find 1 hour to write your draft, okay? And for Edie, who has already written your draft, go over it. And for you, you need to write your plan, your essay plan. But write your draft, and then Thursday, edit your work and do more research. Find out if you have substantiated your emotional comments with some logical statements. You should have at least 3 sentences for each section, she says, which, remember, your goal was to have at least 2 facts or data or data pieces or anecdotes. And then she gives you some suggestions, and these are really good suggestions. If you want to transition a sentence into another one or add another piece of data, you can use these words furthermore. On the other hand, it's this way. And along the same lines, we see this. And you can just continue to add more information by using some of these transition words. And then on Friday, compare your draft with your essay plan. And Edie, you're going to have your essay plan written. You're funny. Who would write your draft before your essay plan? I think that's great. I mean, I can't do that. I need an essay plan before I write a draft, or I'm crazy. You have a talent. Compare that draft with your essay plan. And this is huge. Tanner, can you read this? Let's have you read, and we'll go down.
Okay. The final version will be a 1-2-page essay that is double-spaced. You'll explain the question clearly and provide background first. But you must also help readers to understand 2 things: why the question is problematic, that is what makes it a genuine question or problem, and 2, why the question is significant or worth pursuing. That is, what benefit will come from solving it. Your essay should not answer the question you pose. Your only purpose in an exploratory essay is to ask and explore it.
Okay, great. You're not going to resolve it. You're just going to explore it, but you want to bring up this subject for your writers. Okay, have fun. Take an hour today, write, don't stop writing, and go to science. Have fun. Thank you for coming to class.
If there is science, because it might be canceled.
Oh, why?
She has problems with her power. Her powers went out, and so it might not work out.
Oh, gosh, we all had major problems today. Okay, well, good luck. Have fun. If you don't have science, take this time to write your papers now and meet with me if you need to. What?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. See you at 10 o'clock. We're going to be introducing C.S. Lewis. I'm excited. See you. Bye-bye.